You, yes, you, the one who hides your exhaustion behind a fake smile. You've been carrying battles no one else can see, and you've done it so long that now your own mind has turned into the enemy. That's the harsh truth. Life gives you two wars. One is against the outside world, its obstacles, betrayals, and disappointments. The other is against yourself, your thoughts, your inner chaos. And I'll tell you right now, the second war is the one that breaks most people. Because no matter how calm the room, how safe the situation, your mind can still summon fear, regret, shame, and anger out of thin air. You can sit in silence and still feel crushed. That is the battlefield you keep ignoring. And if you don't learn how to fight it, it will own you. You already know this. The most dangerous poison isn't outside, it's inside your head. A single toxic thought can spread faster than any enemy's attack. I'm not enough. I always ruin things. They don't care about me. You've heard these whispers before. They start small, almost innocent, but if you let them take root, they multiply. And suddenly you're not just thinking them, you're believing them. And once you believe them, they dictate your choices, your behavior, your entire identity. That's how people go from being fighters to prisoners of their own minds. Let's be blunt. Your thoughts are not harmless, left unchecked. They are weapons pointed at your own chest. So, the real question is, are you going to keep letting them stab you every single day? Or are you finally ready to disarm them and take back control? Listen carefully. You are not your thoughts. Read that again. You are not the endless noise in your head. If every thought that crossed your mind defined you, you'd be changing identities every 5 minutes. Weak one moment, powerful the next, broken the next. That's insanity. The Stoics saw through this trap 2,000 years ago. Marcus Aurelius wrote it plainly. You have power over your mind, not outside events. What enters your head is not the problem. What you do with it, that's the difference between a disciplined warrior and a victim. So, stop confusing suggestions with commands. Your mind throws random garbage at you all day. That doesn't mean you have to obey. Negative thoughts are like songs on a radio. You don't have to dance to every track. Learn to switch the station. Learn to stand apart. Here's the mistake that keeps you stuck. You argue with reality. Something happens, you lose. You fail, you get betrayed, and your mind screams, this shouldn't have happened. That's where the suffering begins. Not in the event itself, but in your refusal to accept it. The Stoics were ruthless about this truth. Pain is guaranteed. Suffering is optional. Epictetus said it straight. Don't wish for events to happen as you want them. Wish for them to happen as they do. If it happened, then it happened. Stop replaying it. Stop resisting. Stop rewriting the past. You don't have to like it, but you must accept it, because only after acceptance do you regain control. Picture two people standing in the rain. One curses the sky, the other grabs a coat and keeps moving. Which one do you want to be? Stop trusting your first emotion. That initial rush of anger, fear, jealousy, or shame. It's not wisdom. It's noise. Most people ruin their lives because they mistake the first emotional reaction for the truth. The Stoics knew better. Marcus Aurelius reminded himself daily. Keep an untroubled spirit. See things as they are. Emotions are like waves. The first one crashes loud and hard, but it always passes. If you act on that first crash, you wreck everything. Someone doesn't reply to your message. You assume they hate you. Hours later, you realize they were busy, but by then, maybe you've already burned the bridge. Discipline means pause. Name the emotion. Delay the reaction. Tell yourself, I feel anger, but that doesn't mean I am right. This pause is not weakness, it's power. It's control, and control is everything. Most of your pain doesn't come from reality. It comes from the story you tell yourself about reality. You get rejected, and your mind invents the story, I'll always be alone. You fail once, and the story becomes, I'm a failure. I'll never succeed. Stop lying to yourself. Marcus Aurelius warned, if you are pained by anything external, it is not the thing itself that disturbs you, but your judgment about it. Facts are neutral. It's your interpretation that chains you. Your brain is a storyteller, but you are the editor. A disciplined editor doesn't let garbage go to print. When your mind says, I'm a failure, you strike it out and rewrite. This was one attempt, not the end of me. When it says, they don't care about me, you counter with, that's an assumption, not evidence. This isn't about pretending everything is fine. It's about refusing to let fiction run your life. Every thought is a draft. You decide if it becomes the final script. Weak minds let stories dictate them. Strong minds rewrite the script until it serves them. Your environment is programming your mind whether you admit it or not. Negative people, toxic content, chaotic spaces, they are all feeding your thoughts. Seneca warned, associate with those who will make you better. If your inner voice is filled with complaint, gossip, comparison, ask yourself, who have you been listening to? What have you been consuming? A messy room, endless scrolling, conversations with losers. This is not harmless. It's mental pollution, and you can't build discipline while bathing in poison. Do an environment audit now. Who drains you? Who strengthens you? What habits make you sharper, and which make you softer? Most people want peace but refuse to cut out the noise that kills it. That's hypocrisy. If you want clarity, clean your surroundings. If you want strength, change your circle. Understand this. Laziness is not always weakness. It's often environment. You wonder why you can't focus. Look around. Your phone is buzzing every 10 seconds. Your desk is stacked with distractions. Your so-called friends encourage comfort, not discipline, and you blame yourself for lacking willpower. Wrong. Even the strongest soldier would stumble walking through a minefield every day. The answer isn't more motivation. It's clearing the damn minds. Delete the apps that keep stealing your time. Stop meeting with people who gossip and complain. Create a space so clean and sharp that your mind has no excuse but to focus. The Stoics weren't just philosophers. They were engineers of their own environment. They removed noise, embraced order, and built discipline into daily life. You can't fight negative thoughts while swimming in filth. Clean your battlefield. Now, let me make this crystal clear. You can't beg for peace while living in chaos. That's hypocrisy. You say you want focus, but your room looks like a landfill. You say you want strength, but you surround yourself with weak minds. You say you want clarity, but you flood your brain with garbage every night on a glowing screen. Stop lying. Discipline is not built on hope. It's built on structure. Seneca wasn't exaggerating when he warned that the wrong company corrupts the best character. The people you tolerate today are writing tomorrow's thoughts in your head. The environment you keep today is building tomorrow's habits in your body. So ask yourself, do you want to keep living in a self-made prison? Or are you finally ready to burn the trash and rebuild the fortress? You think you're broken, but you're not, you're just drained. And here's the truth. Exhaustion makes everything look worse than it is. When you're tired, a small setback feels like a disaster. A late reply feels like rejection. A minor mistake feels like proof you're worthless. That's not truth, it's fatigue lying to you. Marcus Aurelius carried an empire on his back, yet even he reminded himself to protect his inner strength. You can't lead an army or your own life on an empty tank. Most of what you call overthinking is just sleep deprivation. Most of what you call anxiety is just overstimulation. You don't need another motivational video. You need rest, order, and silence. Stop confusing burnout with weakness. A soldier without rest is not disciplined. He's destroyed. Protect your energy like it's your armor. Because it is, you can't think your way out of exhaustion. You have to recover your way out. That means sleep like it's training, not luxury. Go to bed earlier than your excuses want you to. Take a 20-minute walk outside without your phone. Let silence recalibrate your nervous system. Say no to one unnecessary commitment today. Protect your time like it's currency. Write your worries down on paper, then step away. That's how you unload the mental weight you've been carrying. Stop calling it weakness when it's really depletion. Even Epictetus warned, it is impossible for a man to learn what he thinks he already knows. Translation, if your mind is full, fried, and restless, you won't grow. Rest is not surrender, it's strategy. Discipline isn't just the grind, it's the recovery that makes the grind possible. Stop glamorizing burnout. You think pushing through exhaustion makes you strong. Wrong. It makes you sloppy, reactive, and weak. A mind that never rests turns against itself. That's why your thoughts attack you most at night, because you've run your system into the ground. The Stoics weren't machines. They practiced stillness, silence, and balance, not as comfort, but as preparation for war. You can't face life's battles if you show up half dead every morning. Rest is discipline. Stillness is training. Recovery is armor. So tonight, instead of scrolling until your brain is fried, shut it down. Instead of saying yes to every demand, protect your time like a fortress. Instead of flooding your senses with noise, embrace silence. Remember this, you are not weak because you need rest. You are weak if you ignore it. Gratitude is not soft, it's a blade. Negative thinking survives on one fuel, the illusion of lack. I don't have enough. I'm not enough. Life is unfair. That's the script of weakness. Seneca shattered it. It is not the man who has too little, but the man who craves more. That is poor. Gratitude kills the craving. It forces you to look at what is real instead of what's missing. You're breathing. That's wealth. You've survived storms. That's proof of strength. You have something today you once prayed for. That's progress. But you forget. Forgetfulness feeds misery. Gratitude restores perspective. Every time your mind spirals, grab a pen and list 3 things you still have. Not someday, now. Gratitude is not pretending life is perfect. It's refusing to let blindness erase your blessings. That's why it's a weapon. Negativity shrinks your vision until all you see is pain. Gratitude rips that tunnel open. You say, nothing is working for me. Wrong, something is. You just refuse to see it. You say, I'm always losing. Wrong, you've survived every loss so far. You say, life is unfair. Correct, and yet you're still breathing, still standing, still capable of moving forward. Gratitude doesn't erase the struggle, it balances it. It forces you to admit you're not as empty as your thoughts claim. And here's the drill. When you're drowning in negativity, stop and name one thing you would miss if it were gone tomorrow. That single act flips the battlefield. Because while your mind screams, I lack, gratitude reminds you, I still have, and that shift, small but sharp, is how warriors keep fighting when others quit. Gratitude is discipline, not decoration. Weak people treat it like a feel-good exercise. Write 3 nice things and move on. Wrong. A warrior uses gratitude as a weapon against despair. When your mind says, I've lost everything, gratitude forces you to count what's left. When it says, I can't handle this, gratitude reminds you of every storm you already survived. Gratitude doesn't make life easy, it makes you unbreakable. And here's your command. Make it ritual, morning or night. Write 3 things you're grateful for. Small, raw, real, a meal, a person, yes, a lesson, a chance. Do this daily, and your brain rewires itself to spot strength instead of weakness. Negativity can't grow in the soil of gratitude. Forget this, and misery will rule you. Practice it, and you build armor no darkness can pierce. Let's step back and connect the dots. You've learned the enemy isn't out there, it's in here. You've seen how thoughts aren't facts, how emotions aren't commands, how stories aren't truth. You've been warned that your environment is shaping you, that exhaustion is draining you, and that gratitude is the blade that cuts through despair. These aren't random tips, they are a system, a code. The Stoics didn't write philosophy for comfort, they wrote it for survival. Marcus Aurelius wasn't journaling for likes. He was commanding his own mind while ruling an empire under constant attack. Epictetus wasn't teaching from luxury, he was teaching from slavery. Seneca wasn't theorizing, he was training himself for exile and betrayal. They built tools to endure, and you've just been handed them. The question now, will you use them? Or keep making excuses? Awareness alone is not transformation. Knowing the Stoic truths doesn't save you, living them does. Too many people treat wisdom like entertainment. They nod at quotes, highlight lines in books, maybe even share them online, and then return to the same undisciplined life. That's weakness disguised as intelligence. Don't be that person. The Stoics didn't just read, they trained. They rehearsed silence. They practiced detachment. They tested themselves daily. That's why they were unshakable. If you want to kill negative thinking, you can't just admire the philosophy. You must embody it every day. When a thought attacks, you use detachment. When reality hurts, you use acceptance. When emotions flare, you pause. When fatigue hits, you rest. When despair grows, you fight with gratitude. This is the battlefield. The enemy is relentless. If you don't practice, you will lose. Here's your battle plan. Step 1. Stop identifying with every thought. You are the observer, not the noise. Step 2. Stop fighting reality. What happened? Happened, now move. Step 3. Stop obeying your first emotion. Pause, breathe, choose. Step 4. Separate fact from story. Don't let lies run your life. Step 5. Purge your environment. If it poisons you, cut it out. Step 6. Guard your energy. Rest is not weakness, it's strategy. Step 7. Sharpen gratitude daily. Write it, feel it, weaponize it. These are not suggestions, they're orders. Live them and you take back control. Ignore them and you stay a prisoner of your own mind. This is how warriors are forged, not by comfort, not by luck, but by discipline. And if you're serious about ending the war inside, your training begins now. No one is coming to save you. Not a book, not a video, not a mentor. The fight is yours. The world will keep throwing storms, betrayal, loss, and noise at you. Your own mind will keep testing you with doubt and poison. But now you have the weapons. Detachment, acceptance, control, perspective, environment, rest, gratitude. These are not theories. They are tools forged in fire, used by men who faced harder lives than you and still stood unshaken. So, the choice is in front of you. Keep living like a victim, letting your thoughts drag you through the mud. Or pick up the Stoic weapons and fight back, daily, relentlessly, without compromise. Discipline is not for later. It's not for when you feel ready. It's for now. So stand up, sharpen your mind, and kill the enemy inside before it kills you. No more waiting for the right moment. No more letting your thoughts chain you down. Pick one Stoic weapon we talked about today and use it, tonight, tomorrow morning, every single day, because nothing changes until you change. Drop your biggest takeaway in the comments below. I want to see which truth hit you the hardest. Share this video with someone who needs a wake-up call as much as you do. Thanks for listening. And remember, you're tuned into Momentum Mindset, where discipline builds freedom and action builds transformation. I'll see you in the next one.